Human weakness is not an accident. It is engineered, cultivated, and silently rewarded by society. Because a weak population is predictable, a weak mind is easy to steer, and a weak spirit never questions the chains it wears. But the darkest truth is this: human weakness doesn't begin out there. It begins inside you, in places you refuse to look. Tonight, we're going to expose those places. You are about to hear the truths that most people will spend their entire lives avoiding. Truths that rulers, strategists, and thinkers, from Machiavelli to Robert Greene, understood intimately. Because power is not built on strength alone. It is built on the mastery of weakness, both your own and the weakness of others. This is not a motivational speech. This is a diagnosis. And if you stay until the end, it becomes a path to transformation. Take a breath, sit still, and listen closely. The core idea: human weakness is predictable. It shows up in patterns so old and universal that Machiavelli wrote about them 500 years ago. Carl Jung explored them in The Human Shadow. And modern psychology continues to confirm them. What you're about to hear is a breakdown of the 12 darkest truths about human weakness, and how to rise above each one. These are not gentle ideas. They challenge your identity. But if you internalize them, you begin to operate at a level most people never reach. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Most people live as reactions, not decisions. Pause for a moment and observe your day. How much of what you do is intentional? How much is simply responding to people, events, emotions, and impulses? Machiavelli writes, "Men are so simple and so obedient to present necessities, that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived." This is the first form of human weakness, reactivity. When you live in reaction, you are easy to provoke, easy to manipulate, easy to predict. Consider how easily most people are pulled by a notification, a small insult, a sudden desire, a momentary emotion, one tiny push, and their entire mood collapses. If your psychology is shaped from the outside, you do not have a life. You have a script written by the world. Effective affirmation: my calm is my power. My reactions no longer control me. Lesson 2. People fear discomfort more than they desire growth. Weakness thrives in comfort. Comfort is warm, soft, familiar, and utterly lethal. Robert Greene writes, "What weakens us is the need for the familiar." Most people stay weak because they avoid anything that forces them to grow. Silence, solitude, hard decisions, difficult conversations, and above all, pain. They avoid these things so aggressively that they never evolve beyond the version of themselves that was shaped by childhood and circumstance. Discomfort is the doorway to power, the door everyone claims they want, but almost no one is willing to open. Real strength is not found in what is easy. It is found in what is avoided. Effective affirmation: I walk toward discomfort while others run from it. That is my advantage. Lesson 3. The mind is weakest when alone with itself. You may believe loneliness makes you stronger, that isolation makes you disciplined. But there is a darker truth. When left alone, the undisciplined mind becomes a battlefield. Jung said, "Your vision becomes clear only when you can look into your own heart." But most people avoid that clarity. They drown it in noise, scrolling, entertainment, constant distraction. Because silence forces you to confront the truth. You are not in control of your thoughts. Your thoughts control you. If you want power, you must be able to sit in a room alone without needing anything to numb the mind. This is where self-mastery begins. Effective affirmation: I command my thoughts. I am not afraid of my own mind. Lesson 4. People seek approval more than results. Approval is the most subtle form of psychological slavery. It looks harmless, feels natural, but it binds you with invisible chains. Humans are wired to belong, but when belonging becomes dependency, you lose all autonomy. Machiavelli warns, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. Yet most people never choose who they keep around. They choose who accepts them. and then they bend themselves into shapes that others approve of. Approval is cheap. Results are expensive. A strong person seeks the latter. Effective affirmation. I do not live for approval. My actions are my authority. Lesson 5. Emotional attachment is the greatest lever against you. If someone can control your emotions, they can control your decisions. If they can control your decisions, they control your life. Attachment is not weakness, but unexamined attachment is. Romantic relationships, friendships, family ties, even ambitions. Anything that becomes emotionally automatic becomes a leverage point. Machiavelli wrote that rulers must remain capable of acting against mercy, faith, humanity, and religion, when necessary. In simple terms, if your emotions make you predictable, you are manipulable. Detach not from people, but from the need to be validated, loved, or understood by them. Effective affirmation. I feel deeply, but I choose rationally. No one controls my inner world. Lesson 6. Most people are led by their desires, not their principles. Desire is intoxicating. Pulls the mind into fantasies, temptations, and shortcuts. It is the oldest form of human enslavement. From Caesar to modern politicians, leaders have always used desire to control the masses. Desire for security, pleasure, status, recognition, luxury. Robert Greene calls desire the master key of manipulation. When your desires determine your behavior, you are easily bought, easily distracted, easily broken. Principles, on the other hand, are immovable. They shape action regardless of temptation. Weak men follow impulses. Strong men follow principles. Effective affirmation. My principles guide me. Desire does not dictate my path. Lesson 7. People betray themselves long before others betray them. Most betrayals do not come from the outside. They originate within. A person betrays their goals before anyone else does. They break their own promises long before someone breaks theirs. They abandon discipline before anyone abandons them. This is the quiet treason of the human psyche. Machiavelli observed that men are ungrateful, fickle, false, cowardly. But the twist is this. Most people display these traits toward themselves first. You can't expect loyalty from the world when you cannot maintain loyalty to your own standards. The moment you compromise your values, the moment you break your routine, the moment you choose comfort over duty, you betray the future version of yourself that depends on you. Effective affirmation. I do not betray myself. My actions honor my future self. Lesson 8. The average person fears power, not because it's dangerous, but because it exposes them. Power is a mirror. It reflects the truth. When someone rises in strength, clarity, or discipline, it exposes the mediocrity of those around them. This is why people envy power. This is why they resent confidence. This is why they fear dominance. Not because it is harmful, but because it reveals their own lack. Carl Jung said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. The rise of a powerful individual threatens the illusions others cling to. It forces them to confront their wasted time, their unrealized potential, their abandoned dreams. Understand this. When you rise, you will disturb people who are committed to their own stagnation. Let them be disturbed. Effective affirmation. My growth exposes truth. I do not shrink to comfort the weak. Lesson 9. Weakness seeks entertainment. Strength seeks purpose. There are two types of people, those who seek escape, and those who seek direction. Weakness always searches for a distraction, something to numb the mind, something to drown the silence, something to keep them from confronting the emptiness within. This is why people are addicted to scrolling, gossip, and noise. Purpose, on the other hand, demands attention. It demands sacrifice. It demands becoming someone worthy of your own goals. Robert Greene writes, you must know your limits and surpass them. But surpassing limits requires a mission. Without purpose, the mind collapses inward, consumes itself. If you want to rise above human weakness, You must build a purpose strong enough to compete with your temptations. Effective affirmation. I am driven by purpose, not by entertainment. Lesson 10. Human beings crumble under social pressure. Most people are not destroyed by catastrophe. They are destroyed by judgment. The fear of embarrassment, disapproval, and rejection shapes human behavior more than logic ever will. Machiavelli wrote, "He who seeks to be loved will be ruined." People tolerate misery, stay in dead relationships, abandon their dreams, and imitate the crowd, all to avoid standing alone. But strength is forged in solitude, not applause. If you want to rise above weakness, you must be willing to stand against the tribe, to be judged, to be misunderstood, to be the lone figure who chooses the harder path. This is how warriors, rulers, and leaders are made. Effective affirmation. I withstand judgment. My path is my own. Lesson 11. Most people want change without changing themselves. This is the most universal weakness of all. Humans want transformation, but they resist the work. They want strength without struggle, wisdom without suffering, respect without discipline, success without sacrifice. It is the fantasy of improvement without discomfort. But nothing powerful is built in comfort. History is a graveyard of those who waited for change, instead of becoming the cause of it. If the world does not change for you, change yourself until the world must respect you. Transformation is not granted. It is taken. Effective affirmation. I change myself first. The world follows. Lesson 12. The final truth. You become strong when you stop expecting others to save you. The human condition is fragile because people expect rescue, a savior, a sign, a mentor, a moment of luck, anything that will lift them out of weakness. But strength begins in one moment, when you realize no one is coming. You are your own rescue. You are your own revolution. You are the only force capable of rewriting the story you were born into. Machiavelli wrote, "Fortune favors the bold." The bold are not waiting for help. They move first. When you stop expecting rescue, you step into the world as a sovereign being, not a victim of circumstance. And that is the threshold of true power. Effective affirmation. No one is coming. I become my own strength. Transition to next section. You've now seen the core weaknesses that govern most of humanity. But knowing them is only the beginning. In the next part, we turn these lessons into strategy. We transform awareness into dominance, clarity into power, and intention into action. The strategic reconstruction. Turning dark truth into power. Now that you've seen the roots of human weakness, it's time to rebuild. Not into a better person, but into a stronger force. A mind with edges, discipline, and intentionality. You are not here to become kinder or softer. You are here to become unshakable. This section gives you the blueprint. Each strategy is simple but not easy. Each step is direct but not gentle. Each one forces you to confront the version of yourself that cannot continue forward. Let's begin. Strategy 1. Kill reactivity before it kills your future. Most people are puppets pulled by invisible strings. Comment ruins their day. A distraction destroys their momentum. A single urge derails an entire week. The powerful are different. They move slowly, deliberately, with an inner stillness that unsettles others. To master reactivity, you must train the pause. Before speaking, pause. Before acting, pause. Before reacting emotionally, pause. It is in this small slice of silence that power is born. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He didn't mean control the world. He meant control the response. People who master the pause become impossible to provoke, impossible to manipulate, and impossible to predict. Effective affirmation. My pause is my power. I choose my response with precision. Strategy 2. Embrace discomfort like a training ground. Discomfort is not a punishment. It is a sharpening stone. Weak men avoid it. Strong men use it. Every day, put yourself into one controlled discomfort: cold, silence, discipline, stillness, effort, rejection, fatigue. Not to suffer, but to train your mind to stop associating discomfort with danger. The world becomes easy when you stop expecting it to be easy. Robert Greene writes, "If you're not rising, you're falling. Discomfort is the ladder. The more you climb, the more you see." Effective affirmation: discomfort strengthens me. I rise through resistance. Strategy 3. Guard your mind like a fortress. Your mind is a kingdom, and most people leave the gates wide open. They let opinions invade. They let fear take the throne. They let self-doubt walk freely through the halls. Machiavelli warned princes never to allow foreign armies into their cities. Yet people allow the armies of doubt, gossip, and negativity into their minds every day. To rise above weakness, you must guard your mental kingdom with discipline. This means limiting noise, ignoring fools, rejecting emotional parasites, filtering information, protecting your attention. Your attention is the currency of power. Spend it like it matters. Effective affirmation: my mind is my fortress. Only strength enters. Strategy 4. Detach from outcomes. Attach to action. Attachment is a trap because it makes you predictable. It ties your happiness to things you cannot control. It binds your power to external forces. Detach not from goals, but from the emotional dependency on the result. The powerful act because the action itself sharpens them. The action is the identity. The action is the purpose. This is why warriors train daily, not for victory, but to remain worthy of victory. When you detach from outcomes, you become calm under pressure, immune to fear, and steady under uncertainty. Jung said, "What you resist not only persists, but grows." Give the best action. Release the rest. Effective affirmation: I act with discipline and release the outcome. Strategy 5. Build an inner code no one can break. Weakness thrives in unclear values. Strong people have a personal doctrine, a code of conduct sharper than steel. This inner code must define what you tolerate, what you refuse, how you act under pressure, what you commit to daily, what you sacrifice for the future, what your identity stands for. Machiavelli admired rulers who acted with cruelty well used, not meaning harm, but meaning precision, firmness, and unwavering clarity. Your code makes you reliable to yourself, predictable to your principles, unpredictable to your opponents. Without a code, a man is driftwood on the waves. With a code, he becomes the storm. Effective affirmation: I walk by my code. Nothing breaks my integrity. Strategy 6. Master the art of silence. Silence is a weapon, a shield, a test, a mirror, a strategy. Most people talk too much because silence exposes them. Their insecurity, their uncertainty, their need to be seen. Silence forces others to reveal themselves. It forces them to fill the space. It forces them to expose their intentions. This gives you an advantage few ever understand. As Robert Greene states, powerful people impress through silence. Silence in conversation, silence in conflict, silence in planning, silence in emotion. Speak only when your words serve a purpose. Effective affirmation: my silence speaks with strength. I observe more than I reveal. Strategy 7. Train emotional neutrality. Emotional control is not suppression. It is mastery. Neutrality means you feel emotion, but do not obey it. You acknowledge anger, but do not lash out. You notice fear, but still move forward. You experience frustration, but do not collapse. Emotional neutrality makes you unreadable, unmanipulable, and calm in situations where others panic. Machiavelli praised rulers who remained cold to sentiment, not because they lacked feeling, but because they prioritized strategy. Neutrality lifts you above the battlefield, so you can see the entire war. Effective affirmation: my emotions inform me, but they do not command me. You have now learned the strategies that reforge human weakness into strength. But there is still one more transformation. The final part of this script brings everything together. Your psychology, your discipline, your mindset, your identity, into a single, powerful conclusion. The final transformation. Rising above human weakness. Everything you've heard so far leads to one final truth. Weakness is not removed. It is replaced, rebuilt, reforged. You cannot erase the vulnerable parts of yourself. You cannot delete fear. You cannot eliminate doubt. You cannot silence every impulse or insecurity. But you can replace them with something stronger. A man does not become powerful by killing his shadow. He becomes powerful by commanding it. Jung taught that the shadow is not the enemy. It is the wellspring of potential you've never touched. Your strength, your anger, your clarity, your intensity, your focus, your inner fire. Most people bury their shadow. The powerful harness it. Human weakness does not disappear. It becomes the raw material for greatness. Let's bring everything together. The 12 dark truths. Summarized. 1. People are reactive, not intentional. Control the reaction and you control the direction. 2. People avoid discomfort more than they pursue growth. Discomfort is the gateway to power. 3. The mind becomes dangerous when left untrained. Master your thoughts before they master you. 4. Approval is a silent prison. Seek results, not permission. 5. Emotional attachment creates leverage against you. Feel deeply. Choose rationally. 6. Desires enslave those who lack principles. Your code matters more than your cravings. 7. People betray themselves first. Self-loyalty is the foundation of inner strength. 8. Power exposes people's insecurities. Do not shrink to comfort the fragile. 9. Weakness seeks entertainment. Strength seeks purpose. Choose mission over distraction. 10. Social pressure breaks more people than hardship. Stand alone when needed. 11. Everyone wants transformation without sacrifice. Demand greatness from yourself. 12. No one is coming to save you. Become the force you're waiting for. These truths are not meant to scare you. They are meant to free you. Because when you understand the architecture of human weakness, you gain the blueprint for becoming unbreakable. The ultimate shift from reaction to ruleship. Every empire, internal or external, begins with self-rule. Machiavelli understood this intimately. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. Power does not come from circumstances. Power does not come from birthright. Power does not come from being chosen. It comes from the inner throne, the position in your own mind where you decide, I will no longer live at the mercy of my impulses, my fears, or the world around me. This is where weakness dies, not instantly, but gradually, deliberately, and permanently. When you learn to command yourself, you stop being a product of your environment and become its architect. This is the beginning of sovereignty. This is the birth of power. This is the awakening few ever reach. The final charge. Step into the world differently. From this moment on, walk differently, stand differently, think differently, respond differently, because you now know what others refuse to learn. When people react emotionally, you remain composed. When others seek escape, you seek purpose. When they crumble under pressure, you rise. When they betray themselves, you stay loyal to your higher standard. When they wait for rescue, you act. And when they fear their own potential, you step fully into yours. The world is not kind to the weak, and it never has been, but it bends slowly and surely to those who master themselves. The closing message. Become unbreakable. You are not meant to move through life timidly. You are not meant to live as a ghost inside your own story. You are not meant to drift, waiting for miracles, motivation, or validation. You are meant to become someone formidable, someone disciplined, someone calm under fire, someone who doesn't chase approval, but commands respect through presence alone. Human weakness is ancient, but so is human potential. And now you hold the map to rise above both. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is whether you will. Call to action. Leave them with fire. If this message struck something in you, if it awakened the part of you that refuses to remain weak, then stay with us. There is more to learn, more to master, more to sharpen. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and tell us in the comments, which weakness will you conquer first? Your transformation is not a moment. It is a war you were born to win, and we're here to guide you through every step of it.